both are the anonymous functions. Both are anonymous functions. Why it's called as anonymous functions, sir? Because function name is not available. Two syntaxes, you can observe that one, there is no name of the functions. Keyword available, and is third syntax, even that keyword also not available. In third syntax, even the keyword is also not available. So that's why it is called as anonymous functions. Then how to call this anonymous functions, sir? Calling directly not possible. Calling not possible because name not available. I should not call that one. Instant usage only. But I want to call this functions here. Then you can take the support of the reference variable like as arrays. Say my last point, that is the reason. Non-primitive data type. So directly calling is not possible. We can call using reference variable. Exactly array process. Take one reference variable, assign this total function to the reference variable and use the reference variable for calling of the functions. Next, what is the advantage of these main anonymous functions, sir? Reference variables we can call using, that is just a normal point, sir. One of the way to call anonymous functions. But actual purpose of the anonymous functions is to perform the callbacks. Very, very, very important point, topic or point of the JavaScript. Callbacks. So anonymous functions used for the callbacks. What is callback, sir? Callback in the sense sending a function as a parameter to other functions. Last example, I sent the values as a parameter. It's not routine. But in place of values, we are sending one function as a parameter to other functions. That is the callback. It's a risky process, sir. Of course, sir, first time if you are working, it's a double risky only. Or 2-3 examples, if you practice it, becomes easier. So callbacks means sending anonymous function as a parameter to another function or other functions. Other function. This is called as callback. Sending anonymous function, not any anonymous function. Anonymous function as a parameter to other functions, it's called as callbacks. So why we have to do this risky process, sir? To extend the functionality. To extend the functionality. To extend functionality. Anonymous functions or callbacks are used to extend the functionality of other functions, existing functions. What is the meaning of extending, sir? But as per my yesterday's explanation, every function is performing one task. Every function is performing one operation. I said that yesterday. But now every function doing one task, sir, super. But I want to add some extra instructions to this existing tasks, sir. It means I want to perform the task based on my requirement. Possible as two solutions. Solution number one, open the source code of that existing function. Open the source code of that already developed function and make the changes as per your requirement. Easiest solution, but bad solution. Reason, you are modifying the source code of the predefined functions. When you modify the source code of predefined functions, that impact goes to next programs and other users also. That is very dangerous process. Then only without disturbing the existing function, how to add my requirements are. It is called as the extending. So what is your requirement right here? Your requirements right here. And send this function total as a parenthesis, the parameter to another function. This is also take this is total into one parenthesis. And right here, another function name. So this is function calling. I'm calling with an arrow function. Here also I'm calling with one expression function. So the syntax is comes here. This is existing function calling something function one. And inside the bracket, we have to write expression function or arrow function inside the brackets. So this is function calling. Girls, see that like as my last example, addition of is prime number. This is add function. What I have to send here, sir, parameters. And now also I'm sending parameters, but not values. Instead of values, I'm sending as a another function. Instead of values, I'm sending my function as a parameter. What is the benefit to like write like this, sir? This is the benefit. But now this existing function logic running and my function logic is also running. And both functions, the combined result we are getting onto the screen. That is extending the operations. Existing function as easily running along with my instructions. Where is your instruction, sir? That is only I'm saying. This total function you have to write here. Otherwise, this total function you have to write here. And situation demanding, sir, we can write both also. The situation is demanding, we can write both. Arrow expression function comma, arrow function also possible. Sometimes we have to write like this only. This is our concept of callback. It's very, very powerful topic in JavaScript. Don't neglect. Callbacks is the main point. When you go for any interview, damn sure question from the callbacks. Pakka. Next, execution. So timings I'm explaining here. I already said this is another function calling statement. This is another function calling statement. Okay, sir, existing function we are calling, but when our function is calling and who is calling our function, sir? That I'll explain here separately. See that I'm calling some fun one. Here I have some, as usual, expression function or arrow function is available. Timing of execution, number of executions I'm going to explaining now. This is calling statement. Which function? Already defined function. That function inside my own function also I placed. So as a developer, I'm calling that existing function. Directly I'm calling add, subtract, is prime, get the result, print the table I'm calling. The next what happens, sir? This function internally calling these two functions. So when you place inside the parameters between the two functions, the link is going to establishing. You have to take care about existing function. That function is taking care about internally developed functions. Can I call directly these two, sir? How, sir? Both anonymous gather, name available, not available. So you should not call directly. Linking process only we have to call. So developer calling this already defined function. This already defined function is responsible to call off your anonymous function, either expression or arrow. When it is calling, sir, internally situational wise, internal code wise it is. But one point is the clear. Whenever the fun one is executing, that every time your expression function is also executing. How many times fun one is executing, sir? That number of times your expression function also executing. Compulsory. Example, sir, your train or your shadow. Your shadow. Wherever you goes, your shadow will follow. If you travel 10 kilometers, your shadow also 10 kilometers is stopping. But shadow ni malli separately you are going to taking here, and you are moving. No, your bags I think you have to carry like that, but your shadow automatically comes linking. How much time distance you travel, that much of shadow forming. How many times you walked, that much of time shadow is also walking. Otherwise, this is your train example, loco, and these are the compartments. Whenever the loco is moving, compartment also moving. How much time the loco is traveling, that much of time compartment is also traveling. So this is existing function and this is anonymous function. It's depending on mode. When a low compartments you don't need to push separately. If you drive the loco is responsible of the 15 compartments. You just focus on the loco driving. Loco is focusing on the 15 compartments, so pulling like this. So the callbacks is works like that. Safety precautions, point repeating once again. Programmer calling this already defined function. Whenever you call this function, then every time your expression function is also calling, arrow function also calling. How many times this function is iterated or executed, that number of times your function is also executing. But if we need my function, but parameters available are here. But who is sending the parameters are? The function fun1 is sending. Who is calling my function? The same function sending the parameters also. So if fun1 is calling your expression function, while calling of the function, it is sending your parameters. How many parameters required? That all the parameters it is going to passing. If you are interested, use the parameters inside the program, otherwise leave it. Simple thing. Actually, we have to use, then only we are writing the program. So this existing function sending the data or parameters to these anonymous functions, and anonymous functions returning the value to this function one also. So this is parameter and this is the return statement. Loco sending the data to compartment and again compartment is sending the data to loco. Both are going to internally communicating. Automatically internally going to communicating both. So this is the concept, sir. Why this risky process, sir? This is the reason. I want to add some additional things to that existing function. I already developed a function. I want to add some extra things. Reason that existing things is not enough for me. Extending operation. I already said together some example. Baya thoda pass dalo. Same. They are already given, but it's not enough for us. Then what we are doing is general processor. ఇప్పుడు మనకి జనరల్లీ in Andhra side, Telangana side, sambar we are taking, but less quantity. Sambar with breakfast or rice. If you go for Tamil Nadu state, sir, first this much a big bowl is said. చిన్న బొచ్చి ఇచ్చేస్తాడు డైరెక్ట్ బొచ్చ అంటాం అని తెలుగులో బౌల్ బిగ్ బౌల్ ఆల్రెడీ ఫుల్ సాంబార్ అది ఇన్ దట్ ఇడ్లీస్ ఆర్ గోన్ టు డిప్పింగ్ for idli sambar compulsory, for dosa sambar compulsory, for puri sambar compulsory, vada sambar, a Tamil Nadu style, a favorite for sambar for those. But that sambar, how the peoples are eating, sir. Already this much of big bowl is available. Well, he is asking again extra sambar. This sambar, either 2 to 3 days we are going to consuming that one. In Andhra, Telangana. In other states, say the sambar, no idea for you. Properly, you are not using sambar also. Other states, Andhra, Telangana, this much. Tamil Nadu, this much. Andhra kuda some of the breakfast sambar favorite, but limited. But Tamil Nadu side అయితే 4 idli, 5 idli, small steel bucket available na khatam. We can't take that much of quantity. For max 2 bowls are exactly 3 bowls, but there one bucket sambar khatam. So already server giving this much of sambar, but he is going to asking, thoda sambar leko, thoda sambar levo. That is called as extending operation. ఇంకో 10 minutes కదా కంటిన్యూ ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చచ్చిపోతున్నాడు నుంచోలేక So first I'm defining the anonymous function come expression function. Sir, how can I identify it's an expression function, sir, arrow function, sir? I already mentioned, sir, equal and greater than is there, na? It is the JavaScript operator, arrow operator. Arrow operator used to define the arrow functions. And this is expression. Only function keyword available. Name of the function not available. Body is available. But while come to here, function keyword not available, name not available, but arrow operator is there. And one small difference, sir, just point missing. Expression functions is a old concept. Middle versions of the JavaScript, it is available. But arrow functions are new concepts, sir. Arrow functions is the new feature of the JavaScript, nothing but an ECMA, ECMAScript concept. This is old, this is new. But now see, I'm demonstrating here how to define the expressional function. Program I'll show separately. Explanation at a time I given because both same purpose. Could the internal differences available. But examples say the separately I'll demonstrate it. So defining expressional functions. Expressional functions. Follow the syntax here. Function, parameters x comma y, and close this. And inside that one, sir, return followed by x plus y. This is my function, sir. Ready. But can I call this function from other places as sir? Not possible. Because function name is not available. Function keyword is there, but what is the name? Name not available. So name not available, that is called as anonymous. So a couple of times I used this pronunciation anonymous. But I want to call this function from other locations, sir. Follow the array concept. Arrays. What is this, sir? Array. But now in the same angle bracket place, write this total function. Change the name. This is expressional function. Constant add equals to function. Very, very simple, sir. See that. It is array. It is function. Array contains elements, function contains steps. Simple comparison. Same array diagram I explained the last week. This one storing in the heap area where the memory allocated for that function, that address is maintained by this variable. So reference variable and difference data type also. It is a reference variable which consists the location ID of this function. Last example that only. When I print the function name, what it is printing, sir? A total function is printing because my variable contains the address. When I'm printing that one, it jumping to the address, collecting all the data, displaying on the screen. So this is the practical proof of it is a reference to data type. Just for practice, one more function, product, functional expression, parameters, and body of the function, return followed by x multiplied with y and close it. Just two functions I defined, sir, here. One is the add, second one is the product. For small clarity, what is this add, sir? Name of the function? No, 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 no. It's a variable name, a reference name. Function names are functions names not available, so you should be called purely anonymous. There is no function name. Function available. This is my function, and it is also my function. Both are anonymous functions only. But what is this, sir? And a function address maintaining variables, sir. But generally, function address or addresses maintenance center, what we are doing generally, sir, A, B, we are going to using like this, an arrays style, array 1, array 2, x1, x2, OB. But what is the problem here, sir? B means suddenly it's a product and is striking not done. A means addition, B means product, C means division and it suddenly doesn't strike, sir. Then only reference variable name I'm taking as a meaningfully. So as per this name, don't misunderstand. It's not name of the function. It is a reference variable. This is the process. The one memory block, heap area. This is one memory block, stack area. And this heap area memory block is address maintained by the stack area. Array diagram. So heap stack. Function anonymous reference variable. So this is anonymous function. What is this arrow key, sir? This is pointing. Address linking other pointing. Now product inside a function address available. But JavaScript generally not showing the addresses, sir. I want to see the reference of my variable. I want to see the address of my object, sir. Generally, it's not showing. Why, sir? Why if you ask the question, it is asking one more question. Why you need address under it? You have answer? Why you need address? If you answer that one, I'll show the address under. JavaScript ready to answer. Why you need address? Huh? Using a. You can't use address in any language. Not possible. No programmer can use the addresses directly. No language supported addresses working directly. Just for show the situations, sir. Where you use address in which language? Java, na. Where here? Show it. You can't touch the address directly. When you touch the address, it converts into integer number. When you touch the address like this, it converts into integer number. And then integer number, what you are doing? No use. But suppose in other languages, so if you use the reference variable here, and if you call some special methods, which methods, hash code, toString methods, they are going to showing the address, right? Collect that value, store into one variable, and start the operations. Then what is the use of address? Directly, you are never touching the address. Directly, you are never using the addresses or references. Reference a hash code address or whatever it may be. That all are only for internal usage only. Human being should not touch directly that. When you touch that one, it converts into an integer number. Or when you touch that one, it's converted into one string variable. The next step onwards, when you are trying to use, it's substituting as a string or it is substituting as a number only. That is the thing here. Suppose you created one array or you created one object. If you ask some of your languages, they're showing the address together 1 lakh something something. And write one step here. An array no object you created and you asked your language. They're showing address also 1 lakh 1. Write 1 lakh 1 dot x and call it. Error is comes. What is 1 lakh 1, sir? My object address. Object inside I have two properties x and y. Actually, this step we can call ob.x. Ob value how much, sir? 1 lakh 1. You know that one. But can you use that 1 lakh 1? How you are saying I can use not possible. Maybe daily you are thinking whether sir little bit knows with that one you are going to explaining underestimated here, huh? He's feeling like that only, I think. Huh? With a little bit knowledge, I'm talking with the .NET because I just have an idea about the .NET. Python, I don't know anything. Asal nil. Java, I'm complete. .NET, little bit I know. So, language ready to show the address, but it's not useful for us because you can't directly use the addresses anywhere in the program. If you use directly, it's converted into either integer or string. Errors are coming up. But JavaScript point what is the use to show the address and then like as your Java, we don't have any hash code method here. ToString method available, but hash code method is not available. But ToString method, when you call it, it's showing the content only. When you call the ToString method directly, it returns directly data only. Really, yes, sir. Go to console. Go to console. So run one of your array program. First array I'm running. First demonstration array. A dot ToString. A dot ToString. What it is returns? Array data returns in the form of string. See that one. Address not showing. I think Java language, if you call the ToString, your address displaying in the hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal format displaying your array address. Huh? Angle bracket, I at the rate, capital I is coming. Maybe you are not observed. Check it next time. Angle bracket, capital I at the rate 1, 2, 3, ABC, something is displaying it. One single angle bracket is displaying like this. One I displaying here and at the rate symbol is displaying. Know the meaning of this? While retrieving the hash code or address, is symbol's meaning. These three symbols meaning. Huh? So single angle bracket means a single dimension array. It is an integer array. Single dimension integer array created at the location of 10001. Java candidates also maybe you don't know this meaning. If it is double dimension array, sir, I'll get the two angle brackets. So which type of array? What is the data type of array? It's a double array, sir. You will get the here D symbol. Check it. If it is integer array, it is showing the I alphabet. Clear indication. I'm showing the address of integer array which belongs to single dimension. Or I'm showing the integer array address which belongs to double dimension array, multi-dimension array in hash code. Then at the rate is comes. And 101010 something is going to showing you. lightly if you know that one. This much of information not possible, other. Okay, two functions completed here. Inga we have remaining things that we'll see on tomorrow's session. Only online kada. Huh? Oy,